Alright, here's the update on what the weather factors for this December 19th and 20th storm. I have had a lot of problems with this recently in the last couple hours here, considering that the models have digressed from what they were originally supposed to be. And here's the problem. The reliable Euro, ECMWF, whatever you want to call it, has completely flip-flopped on us. So let's take a look at the current factors and how this is going to feed into this storm, this possible storm. Here across the southeast we've got a low pressure system. It's moving across the Carolinas right now. It's moving off the coast and it's going to stall across South Florida. So South Florida could see a strong to severe thunderstorm over the next several hours here. Across the northeast we've caught that cool down that's occurred across the northeast and a reinforcing shot of cold air coming down across Minnesota and the northern Dakotas, where we have highs in the single digits and below zero here, up towards north of Bismarck, over towards Winnipeg, and extending down towards Fargo. And here's where we're going to come into some problems here. There's an energy system here across the Pacific Northwest, and that's going to drop down across the Rockies. Now, these systems will help feed into what is going to be called next week, late next week, the system that we're going to watch, the December 19th, 20th system. Let's take a look at precipitation amounts. These only cover up to 5 days, actually. And most of the precip will actually be off the southeast coast, so no worries there. But central Florida here, this is where we could run into some problems. Up to 4 to 5 inches possibly, locally. And here in the midsection, we're going to get kind of a stratiform rain developing up to half an inch. And in the Pacific Northwest, we could see up to an inch along the immediate Washington, Oregon, heading up from Eureka all the way up towards just west of Portland and west of Seattle, where Seattle, Medford, Portland, and Eureka, Eugene, these areas could see anywhere from 3/4 to 1 inch of rain. So here is the thing that's going to play into this storm. I'm not going to show you really any model data at this point because the models, I have become so frustrated with the models lately. Here is what the current thinking is here at the MeteoMark Weather Center. We have I'm going to show you the jet stream. Now currently here is the jet stream. We have the subtropical jet stream to the south, and we have the polar jet stream to the north. And you can see it's kind of infringing on the northern territories of the north central states here in the United States. And then if we put that into motion, you can see over the next several days we go into December 18th, and this is where the jet streams will most likely be. We'll have this ripple across the south here with the subtropical jet, and that's where the low pressure will most likely be across the southern states. And we have this jet stream across the north, digging down across the northern Great Lakes with an Alberta clipper. Now, let's take a look at where the system is going to be for the NAO index up here. And we take a look at eastern Canada and Greenland up here. And you can see the block is not very pronounced as it was over the last several days. So that tells us something. That tells us the pattern reversal that we were going to see is most likely not going to occur. Where does that leave us at this point? That leaves us with many scenarios, but here's the most likely scenario that we currently think. We're going to stick to our thinking of having the subtropical jet stream guide this system to the south, and you can see the low pressure. It's going to move across the southern states, but instead of taking a track up the east coast like the GFS and Euro are thinking at this point, we're going to track it steadily out to sea. And across the northern Great Lakes, there's going to be no phasing with the southern stream and the subtropical jet stream, and we're going to keep that system bottled up across, say, the upper Great Lakes and on up into Ontario and Quebec. So that is really what we're looking at this point. NAO index has gone negative, but here's the thing. Many of the models are trying to hint it going above zero by, say, Christmas Day, and that is a reversal trend that we've been seeing. So this could really mean an apparent lack of snow across the East Coast here, especially for Christmas. Right now, it's a little too early to say, but right now I am not very confident in a very snowy pattern if any of these factors hold. At this point, I'm going to continue to watch, but the models are a mess right now. So I'm going with my own, our own feeling here with the subtropical and polar jets, and I think that's the best we can do at this point. So right now, my forecast is very little snow out of this December 18th, 1920th system, with maybe some of the southern states getting a light dusting of snow to an inch or two into the parts of the deep south. And of course the northern Great Lakes will see some snow with that Alberta clipper. I'm meteorologist Mark Muller. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and here's a 4-day forecast for my hometown viewers from Binghamton to Elmira and the northern tier counties of Pennsylvania.